Hello everybody, welcome back to AI War Fleet Command. It's time to continue the Spirecraft Showdown. Continuing on from the last episode, we need to deal with the Hunter-Killer threat. Both of them are still in Quayar, and both of them are mostly healthy. They've like 98-96% health. We didn't do much to them. I haven't seen any of them move at all, and I have not seen any more produced. I looked carefully through all the other systems I have scouted. So I'm wondering if they're operating on a cap for how many, like each AI is only producing one at this point in the game, or if it's just a matter of time. But either way, there's no point in beating around the bush here to get that taken care of. We need the Spirecraft Rams to handle them. Now, of course, it's not as simple as all that because I don't have any in my current systems. The nearby ones tend to not have any, and more as we go out. And this is the Spirecraft asteroids view, and you can see differing amounts. And there's a good amount over here of the Reptite, the weaker ones, and we're fine with that because the Rams, if you get higher mark Rams, they just cost more energy. They cost proportionally more energy to the amount of damage that they do. Having a bunch of lower mark ones is just as good as having a few higher mark ones. And we need to pop into here and take care of enough of the resistance so that we can harvest those asteroids. So that's my imminent goal for the moment. And here's the fleet that I'm going to do it with. Got about 300 ships. I've brought along some Enclave starships and didn't build quite as many of the other starships back up. And the idea behind that is, of course, we have the Scout for counter-sniper coverage, which, if we look at these Sentinel frigates, their energy wave cannon is susceptible to counter-sniper coverage, even though it didn't look like the counter-sniper turrets were working in that last attack on Melpomene. So that's kind of weird. But in any case, the Scouts along for that purposes, and then the Enclave starships are basically around to give any troublesome stuff other things to shoot at other than my ships. And I want to clear out a decent amount of this system. We've got the asteroid stuff over here, so this definitely has to go. And then I want to, get as much of the other stuff as I can eliminate relatively painlessly. I also need to see if those hunter-killers are going to come in here and try to stop what I'm doing, in which case I'd have to formulate a new and probably more painful plan. Let's see, let's check out some of the ranges here. MLRS turret there that's dangerously close. And this is just like a command station there, and so there's no big structural threats over here. So I think I want to head down that way. Let's just move to, say, about here and try to clear out anything that comes after us. There we go, and we can see all of our... Okay, so I definitely want to... Even if I lose some ships, I want to go after that Spider Guardian right away. There we go. Okay, now let's group back up. Whatever can group up. You can see some of them are already immobilized. Let's group back up over this way and then go at... Actually, let's just go straight for it. Go straight after that other Spider Guardian. My raid starships are gonna play around with it. There we go. And now I think we probably want to try to consolidate with whatever we have left. Let's just see what that is. You can see a lot of our ships have been immobilized. And they're just going to kind of get picked off. I'm going to have to deal with that. But if I can get as centrally located as possible and let them sort of repeal... Yeah, and we've got some more ships too. As we captured some cutlasses. So I want everybody to just sort of group up underneath the protections as much as we can. Okay, let's head off down here now and deal with that plasma siege. We're going to leave some ships behind. But that's just going to have to be something that we suffer. Come on. And look at all those cutlasses going to work. That's good stuff. We're immobilized here too. What are we getting immobilized by? I don't think there's anything else left. I don't necessarily want to go after these. I don't think there's any point. Be nice to get rid of more Sentinel frigates. Let's see, there's a bunch of auto bombs. But really, I think we probably just want to come over here towards this command station shield post. And we got a reprisal warning level 1. It's going to get worse. Devour Golem is nearby, not worried about that. So most of what we have left is now reasonably mobile. There we go. Now I think that sending in the construction ship with, definitely has to come with another scout to protect it, is a good idea. And then I also need to eliminate some stuff so that I have the energy to build this. Or do I want to just... You know what? I think I'm just going to build more matter converters. I can, like, eliminate some of them, you know, find the right balance later. I think that's probably a better way to approach it. Okay, here we are. So we got a little bit of damage from the wormhole coming in, but here's our Spire mining ship in hostile territory, ready over here. And I think I'm going to use my main fleet to defend these while we deploy. So, and I think we want to just use the smallest ones first. Let's do a Spirecraft RAM Enclosure right there. And then let's see how many of these we're going to need. Because we got to do 2 million worth of damage, which would require 6 of these. 3 400k ones for each. That means we're going to need 3 enclosures, because each creates 2. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And there's enough... There's 11 of these types of asteroids in here, so there's enough in here to do this at least 3 to 4 times, which is nice. Of course, not all the other systems have that many, but I want to be sure that we're like right on top of them here with the scout, because I don't want their zenith frigates or snipers to be able to take these out from long range, and then anything else that comes into range our fleet can handle. Of course, I don't have any engineers or anything in here because it's hostile territory. It's going to take a couple minutes to build each of these, but you know, time I have. Now if you look at our metal, what are we even building? Oh yeah, we're building these. Duh. But our metal is going to be going down pretty quickly here, because we have now 4 matter converters, you know, a natural income of a little under 1,300, and that's 800 getting sucked up by the matter converters. So this is going to, you know, we're not going to have a lot of metal to work with until we get everything sorted out. But if I get these built, then I can worry about, you know, what are we going to do with them. And of course you can see that a lot of the firepower from the frigates is just getting soaked up by all these Enclave ships, which is exactly what I wanted to see happen. And you can see they're actually going around destroying some of them. So they are gradually lowering down the amount of firepower that we are required to deal with. I don't know if knocking out the Special Forces guard posts would limit the amount of hunter killers they get in. I'm thinking not, but I may try that a little bit later on in the run. So we're now at 3/4 on these, and that reprisal should be no concern. In fact, it should add to our ships. There we go. Okay. I thought I had to... Okay. Each one automatically builds 2. I was thinking I had to build the Rams afterwards. We have these. We're down to 30,000. Now, theoretically, if I keep these all alive to the point of impact, which is... How do I say this? It's dodgy to say the least, because I only have 20,000 health. That is not a great deal. So again, I will have to be distracting the enemy with them. Can these be cloaked? I don't see any reason why they can't be. So I think I want to try to build a cloaker starship once we get them out of here, and, you know, do tachyon raiding along the path and use that method to get in. Main thing is, I think I just now want to get out of here. Let's go ahead and let's just group everything up. We're going to have everybody leave together. And then we're going to amass whatever sort of fleet that we can once we get back. First object is obviously to get back in one piece, and we want to, of course, avoid this. So we'll take a slightly roundabout route. Circuitous is the word I was looking for, I believe. Of course, there's only one jump to navigate. That should be far enough. Let's head into Giannis. And as our enclaves continue to distract, and hopefully they will do the same thing to the hunter-killers once we get that point. Let's slide on through. Okay, they just got some reinforcements. And what's going on in here? They're fleeing. Their raid is fleeing here. You know what? I don't want to hang around and deal with them. I just want to head this way. Let's let our turrets shoot at them, destroy them or not destroy them. I don't really care about the small amount of threat at this point. I want to get out, get safe, and plan what we're going to do. Alright, it's time to ambush ourselves some hunter-killers. Now, their force has been growing, not in hunter-killers, but in a whole bunch of the disassembler guardians. See them down there? They've got some missile guardians, etc. So that will be problematic enough to deal with on its own, but we've got to knock out the hunter-killers, and here they are. They've just come into Ilmar, and the reason they've come in here is I've been going around doing tachyon raiding on the path. This is MJ12 to Ilmar to Vesta to Quayar to get there. So that triggered their attention, and before that I went around and knocked out some of the special forces posts, because I've got to think that, at least to a degree, that's going to limit the size of their supporting ships, the Guardian supports. Maybe not, but I'm hoping it does. So I knocked out those in Ilmar, Eucrate, Adiona, and Arshandra. And those are the only ones bordering our current systems. So I'm hoping that'll limit how much it grows. It's still going to grow. Right here is our group of cloaked rams. And I'm going to get up right close and personal here before I spring this. Let's say about there. Okay. Now, Rams, you're super close. So 3 of you take out that one. There's only 2 of you left. What on earth? They get blown up before... I gotta try that again. Okay, so I've figured out why this is not working. The Rams, which I didn't notice, are horrible against command grade. You can see 0.001. Their attack is divided by 1,000, and hunter killers are command grade. Now, if we take something else that's not command grade, then we can blow that up quite effectively. So I've got to go back before I went and got the Rams and figure something else out, because clearly that option is not going to work. Okay, so I went back into, before I went into Arshandra to do the Spirecraft raid. In other words, the beginning of this episode. And I'm going around on my Special Forces tour again. Just wanted to show this real quick. I'm using the assault transport method. But here, this one has a shield around it. This is the last of the 4. And I saved it till last because it's going to take a little bit longer. And we're going to need to pound down this force field generator in order to make this happen. So I just took a group of most of my frigates, or most of my strike craft, fleet ships. That's what I'm looking for. That's the word. And I captured some Sentinel frigates. They're proving very useful. There we go. And now everybody get back in. And the raid's about to show up here. The wave from the raid engine, but we're going to get out. So we've completed that part of it. And then how do we deal with the hunter killers? Well, I only see one option, and that's the Armored Warhead, which we've been busily building away while we did this, the Mark I version. This means that we're basically going to try to exchange AI progress for being able to kill the hunter killers. And then, so we're really going to need all the civilian leaders we can get to keep hammering that down to the minimum level, the floor, as it were. And then these still cost 1 million and require 50,000 energy, so I had to put up a third now matter converter. I'm going to need to basically try to antagonize the Hunter Killer Special Forces group, use Warhead to take out the Hunter Killers. Hopefully it'll take out both of them. Should for sure take out at least one. I haven't tested these out in a while. And then knock out the rest of them with the rest of my ships, which should be no small matter either. But I don't see another option. Like, this is the only thing I can think of to try long-term to deal with this, because with the ships we have this early in the game, we cannot handle a straight-up fight against those guys. Alright, it's time for Ambush the Hunter Killers Take 2. Now, we're in Ilmar again. Here's our assault transport. So what I've been doing is just going through and trying to clear out a Tachyon path. Not having the Tachyon sentinels in these systems is huge, because then our cloaked armored warheads can slip through undetected. And indeed, this has been sitting in here for a few minutes and they don't know it's there. I've been using the 2 assault transports filled with everything that I can get to do this. Then I moved in here into Vesta a little bit. There were a couple more guard posts around here. I was going to knock out this one. And this is the jump into Quayar. So I'm just pounding my way through. And it did not take long to get their attention. They weren't even within the territory we had scouted initially, but it just took them a few minutes to get back here. This force moves around quickly. Now I'm going to see what else is coming in here, because I think there's more. Let's get the most bang for our buck, although I don't think there's going to be much left. It doesn't really matter how much I allow in, because the way the Armored Warhead's supposed to work is it takes out the most powerful thing, and then the next most powerful thing, etc., within range. And thankfully, these hunter killers like to hang out close to each other. So each of them should be the first 2 most powerful things within range. I want to hit this one, hopefully take that one with it. And if anything else comes along for the ride, great. But now this does 5 million damage. Let's go take a look at our tooltip. Okay, it does 5 million damage. Cost 1 million metal to make. Has a range of 10,000. They can concentrate any amount of their force on a single target. This should take out the 2 hunter killers, in theory, at the very least one. They can't see it coming, so we should all be good here. There we go. Come on. Make this happen. Okay, plus 3 AI progress, and oh my, there's not much left. I must have screwed up the last time I used these, because that was much more effective than I thought. Okay, so we gained 3 AI progress, except for we didn't really gain 3 AI progress, because our floor reduction would still have us down to 18. So we're 6 below the floor. We've knocked out the bulk of their Special Forces group. Now, I don't know if they'll regenerate more hunter killers immediately, or what. We're not going to wait around to find out. So when I return next time, I will be taking a journey into Quayar and trying to knock that out. And I think we're just going to sort of have a tension between the amount of AI progress I have to accumulate to knock out these hunter killers versus the amount of, reduction that I can get from other things. So I may not have any AI progress over time strictly in the rules, but this hunter plot is going to force me to do that. It's also going to force me to spend 1 million freaking metal on replacing the armored warheads each time. But if I can trigger them like this, like I have a possible solution. Not a great solution, not an optimal solution, not even one I'm super confident in. But we've got a chance. So hopefully the renewed assault on Quayar, which I began 1 or 2 episodes ago, will resume next time. Till then, thanks for watching. More AI War will continue.